as far as Diddy is concerned, I think that's a psyop as well. For black people, particularly, he was on the list for the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Diddy was on the list for Jeffrey Epstein. And I think that he's a sacrificial lamb. I think whoever, here's the conspiracy theorist of Shannon, whoever sitting around saying, man, we got some people that was over there fucking around on that island and we got to protect them. When they released the Jeffrey Epstein list and they still redacted some of the names in January. There's some people on there that we wish we knew and we won't know, but they got to throw a distraction. They got to say, you know what, man, this is getting ready to come. I mean, look at the timing. A lot of the stuff is timing. And I'll wrap it at this. Cassie decided to sue Diddy November-ish, December-ish. The Epstein list came out in January. Diddy's on the list. Then he gets hit with all these other lawsuits. And it's basically bait and switch. It's distraction over. Have you guys ever saw the movie Swordfish with Holly Berry?
John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yep.
Like I like those. Those are my kind of movies. So if you've never seen the movie Swordfish, then you'll understand. Even another one is called with Samuel L. Jackson and Gina Davis.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Long Kiss Goodnight. A Long Kiss Goodnight and Swordfish is basically distraction. Get everybody looking over here at Diddy fleeing the country. His airport was right up the street. He jumped on his jet up the block because he was in LA. So he jumped on at the Burbank airport and flew out to this country with no extradition laws. And that's where he went. And they raided both locations, Florida, and at the same time. And everybody's talking about it. It's all over the news. And this dude is almost a billionaire or is a billionaire. And let's bring him down. Also, the people that we should be paying attention to is being ignored. And you know what? Sacrifice that nigga. Sacrifice him. Strip him from everything and have him run and have him doing stuff so we can pass a law, ignore this senator or president that was at Epstein's island and do all this other stuff over here. So these folk that are so driven by their emotion and all you got to do is flash shiny things in front of their face. They'll follow the light like a cat with a flashlight or a laser. And then we can continue business as usual over here. But that's just a conspiracy theorist for you, Roy Chan. I'll land there.
All right. I want to go next.
I'll jump in. So Shan, you ever heard of this movie called Branded? It came out in 2012. Bro, it's a must watch. So what that movie pretty much does is it discusses. So I'm with you as far as the conspiracy theory thing, but I'm huge as far as programming and how manipulation works, how taglines, storylines, and how people intentionally. So when I see the news, I don't see the news as information being told. I look at what story is trying to be conveyed and what's the reason for it, right? Because no information is just random. There's always a incentive when you put money behind machines, and it's always a reason somebody does something. Like the movie Branded talked about how a fast food company was getting sued, right? And they wanted to make this is one of the examples. They wanted to make their burgers not as big of a problem as they were, because they all in the news for giving people high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of these negative things, right? So what they do is they enlist an ad company to start a biggest weight loss journey. So now the whole country is pushing this weight loss thing. This weight loss thing is going crazy. They shift the focus from how bad the fast food is to the weight loss journey. And then they get surgery. And then you know what happens after that? The people die from the surgery. So you know what they do? They put the Love Yourself campaign. So it's not a problem to be fat no more. And this was all done in order to get that fast food company off the hook. It's ironic that it literally happened in real life. This was 2012. This literally happened in 2012, bro. It's another movie called Zeitgeist where they go into it. I'm sure you probably seen that. Zeitgeist and Zeitgeist, the final chapter. Bro, like when I talk about everybody is every woman is trainable, I believe every man is trainable too. Because at our core, you get the right incentive and you can influence anybody to make any decision, things that they will go against. It's very few people who would die behind their thought process. most people are malleable to some degree, and with the right influence or the right leverage, you can remove or push anybody in any situation. So when it comes to us as a people, now back to the conspiracy thing, I think this gender war thing is kind of exacerbated by that propaganda, honestly. But I'm not even gonna go that far into it because I know we got different views on that. But one of the things I think when you get people unifying, when the mass of the regular common folk try and unify, it creates a problem. There are people who are unified as far as common goals are much harder to control outside of that common goal. So then you get a COINTELPRO, or you get several government agencies trying to destroy the Black Messiah, or to infiltrate music so you can change the messaging behind something. All of this stuff is planned. None of it is coincidence. They spend too much money, have too much research, too large a think tanks, too many psychologists, too much marketing, too much advertising, too many hours of programming in order to just have it be random. These things have metrics and they watch them. It was another documentary on wars of the future. And what they said was the wars of the future would not be fought with soldiers or guns. It would be for ideologies. He who controls the ideology of the people can control the nation and sway them anyway. Now I'll land it there because I don't want to go too long on
this. All right. Hey, Shannon was definitely going in the right direction. My main point is a lot of these things, there's people who want control, right? And it's fed to us in the face of convenience. So just the fact that we don't have to do anything anymore, right? It makes it so easy for us. The more technology that they infuse into something, the more convenient it is, but the more access that it gives them actually. So if you take, for instance, we have Alexa, we have Google, we have Siri, and you have to just think for a second. For them to recognize when you say their name, they're listening to you 100% of the time. And you have to understand that with that information, everything that you says goes on to a server. Every single thing that you ever say in front of technology, which we are all talking in front of technology right now, is sent to a server. Now, there are laws as far as what they're not supposed to do with that information, but you take that as you will, right? But you just have to understand that we are being listened to 100% of the time. And I don't find it a coincidence that if I'm talking about airline tickets, then I just see a flight pop up on my Instagram feed. I'm like, wait a minute. Like certain things that you're looking for, and everything is so intertwined, right? I think that the people who make the most effective use of this is advertisers, right? If you look at the basis of it, you're talking about Google, which is Alphabet, and what is their primary function? Advertising company. Most people don't know Facebook is an advertising company. So they're constantly selling our information to one another. So there's nothing that you can do to be truly considered private. A lot of people don't even understand that the company Ring was actually using people's cameras to create a unified network. And if you didn't go into the settings and opt out of it, it would literally surveil the entire neighborhood for everybody who had it, right? These people have access to our entire lives, and we're offering so much trust to these people, and you really don't know what they're doing with your information. When you think of every single thing that you put in there, from your credit card information, they have your social security number, how many times you entered that, all of your children's names. Like, I'm in the technology field, right? And I just understand how much that you can do with it, right? I know that I only need a little bit of information from somebody before I can just find out everything about you, right? I mean, everything about you. It's easy. You only need a little bit, and then you can find out where they live, right? Where their children go to school. I've seen all of that stuff. It's just too easy. And in the wrong hands will be controlled. Now, if you look at the entertainment, right? Go ahead.
Is that so bad? Trev, is that so bad? Darwin, Chicago, listen, your father and your grandfather, if they wanted to hear a song, they had to go and pull out a big ass vinyl, lay it on a record player, set the needle, and play that one song. Right now, you can listen to any song you want by the sound of your voice. The argument is that bad that the technology has helped it so you can listen to any song you want?
That part is cute, but the potential of it is crazy. And the second part that I'm getting to is what they're doing with it, right? It's all about influence and control. So you know how it goes. You're in the entertainment industry, and what they want you to think is hot is what's going to be hot. We don't really have any control over that. I played a little bit with the music industry, and I understand how that goes. I've been in some of those radio stations. I DJ'd for a little while. So I understand when somebody want to make you hot, they're going to make you hot, right? And there's certain artists that we know aren't any good that get a lot of burn, and they have a lot of influence, and they set the trends of what it is that we do, how it is that we feel, the messaging that they want us to receive, and they have control over that. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's just watch it happen. A lot of that is going on. So the problem that I have with it is the fact that we can't regulate that. There's really no legitimate regulation, or there is, but it's not working. So whatever messages that people want to go out there is what's going out there. The way that they want you to feel, the people that they want you to be against. Like if you ever go on certain platforms on social media, you'll fall into a rabbit hole. You look at one thing, and then you'll come out of it hours later with an ideology, completely different possibly than what you already had. That's programming to me. That right there is programming to me. And a lot of times when you try to speak about things like this, right, then you're quote unquote giving out misinformation, and then you're silenced, right? We're supposed to have freedom of speech here, but we only have a certain amount of freedom of speech because most of our speech now is social media. And if social media is regulated, how much freedoms do we really have? Because you can be banned, silenced, shadow banned, everything else. What freedom is that? Now you end up on what, Rumble or something like that because you decided to speak out, and that's completely limited. So my main point is that I don't trust the people who have the power of influence right now. I see what they're doing with it, and it's a scary thing. And when you watch your children, if you're not paying close attention to your children, then they will absolutely be influenced by what's going on here today. So you need to be paying close attention to what your children are watching. Very close attention. I kind of like what DeSantis did today. He kind of put a ban on our social media for anybody under 14. He was trying to do 16, but yeah, I mean, and it sounds bad, but at least it's a start because the amount of influence that they get, and then do you really want your children's information out there too? So unless they had a platform that were a lot safer, I don't think they should be mingling and mixing with the adults as they do. I don't think that all of that content is suitable for them. But I'll leave it there for now.